So for test purposes, we're going to be shooting a bunch of pellet guns to kind of give us like an idea of how loud it's going to be, relative to something that you can shoot in your backyard all the time. So this is a 177 pellet gun, shoots at 650 FPS. And then we have another 177 pellet gun. This shoots lead pellets at 1000 FPS. And now we have a 22 pellet gun that shoots lead pellets at 950 FPS. And then lastly, we have a Ruger 1022 that will be shooting CCI subsonic ammo. And we'll see if this is just as loud or quiet as these pellet guns, and whether you can shoot subsonic 22 in your backyard without pissing your neighbors off. So my predictions will be the Ruger 1022 will still be the loudest gun tonight, even shooting the CCI quiets. Then it'll be this handgun right here, this 177 handgun pellet gun, only because of the shorter barrel, so the sound isn't going to be as muffled. Then the 22 pellet gun, and then lastly it will be the 177 pellet gun by Gammo. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, here's the Benjamin 177 pellet gun that shoots lead pellets at 650 FPS, and we'll see how loud this is. Okay, it's pretty quiet. I mean, you can shoot this in any backyard all day long. You're not going to disturb anyone. Here is a Gammo pellet gun that shoots lead 177 pellets at 1000 feet per second. Here's how loud it is. This one was actually a bit louder than the handgun, which is a surprise. I was not expecting that. But all in all, you could probably still shoot this in your backyard without getting your neighbors mad. There's another Gammo pellet gun. This one's a 22. It shoots lead pellets at 950 feet per second. And we will see how loud this one is. Well, this one's actually surprisingly the quietest, and it shoots the larger caliber pellet. So this is almost dead silent, which is pretty cool and surprising. So you can definitely shoot this in any backyard all day long. Here's the moment of truth, shooting CCI quiets. As you can see, it's 710 FPS with these 22 rounds. So let's find out if these are just as quiet as a pellet gun or too loud to shoot in an urban environment backyard. Again, I live in a city. I got neighbors on all sides right next door. I don't live on any property. It's very, very dense. All right, let's load this up. By the way, I've not done this yet, so I have no idea if this is going to be too loud or not. I'm pretty sure in all 50 states it's a felony to shoot in your backyard. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But in the state that I live in, it is definitely a felony to shoot a firearm in your backyard without reasons for protection or whatnot. So I've never done this before, so I have no idea if this is going to be too loud. But here we go. Subsonic 22 CCI. That's interesting. One thing I noticed is that it did not cycle out. You have to cycle out your rounds because there's not enough powder to bring the spring back. I think it was at par with the 177 pellet gun, this guy right here. As far as loudness, maybe slightly louder, has a little bit more of a higher pitch ring to it. But I really don't know if it's any louder. You can definitely smell the gunpowder, so that aroma may drift off into a neighbor's backyard and that may alarm them, but as far as noise goes, I wouldn't say it's any louder than just a 177 pellet gun, to be honest. So I would say it's confirmed. As long as you don't have complete dickhole neighbors, I think you can shoot a 22 subsonic in your backyard in the city as much as you want. I think you're going to be okay, which is very surprising. I thought it was going to be a lot louder, but it wasn't. I don't have any earring protection at all whatsoever. It was literally just as loud, if not slightly louder, than a 177 pellet gun. And you can shoot this in your backyard, no problem. Okay, so without filming, we decided that one shot really wasn't enough to gather enough evidence to really figure out if it's too loud or not. So we shot like 3 or 4 more rounds afterwards. And what we ended up doing was I left my house. I went over to my front yard, kind of in my street. Then we did another shot right in front of my house to kind of put myself in different parts of the neighborhood to see how the sound dissipates as it goes off. And what we've come to find out is it sounds a lot more like a nail gun going off, not so much of like a pellet gun or loud noise. For example, I could say a lawnmower or a weed whacker is louder than a subsonic 22, which is true, it is. But people know what a weed whacker sounds like or a lawnmower. When you hear a gun go off, it's that particular sound that people know what it is and can somewhat get alarmed. So we've got this mix between a nail gun and a pellet gun when you hear this thing. But all in all, it's still very quiet. I would say if you're on edge on wanting to buy a bunch of this to shoot in your backyard, if you live in like a real thick, dense city, like a real thick urban environment like I do, we got neighbors on either side of your house. If you have dickhead neighbors, do it at your own discretion. If you have cool neighbors, or you have maybe like a little bit of space in between property lines, I think you're totally fine. But I do want to disclose, I don't know what your state laws are. Maybe they're all the same. When shooting firearms in your backyard, it's a felony. So don't do it. You know, but like I said, don't quote me. Maybe your state's different, but in our state, it is a felony to shoot this thing without the self-defense purposes. So do it at your own discretion. I'm not condoning for you to do it, but if you are going to do it, I think shooting, at least, I know there's different types of subsonic ammo. I can only speak on behalf of CCI, subsonic 22. You can shoot this in your backyard all day long. It really isn't anything different from just a pellet gun that's it's slightly louder than a pellet gun or a nail gun, but you should be fine really. So I hope this video helps and you can make your decision on that. Thank you guys.